Matthew joins us now. It is really emotional.
That's the first time I've seen any of that. I was just saying to Holly, I can't watch myself.
It always amazes me when people come in and they just go, oh, can't look at the monitor.
Yeah.
And why is that? Why can't you watch it?
I think I just pick holes in everything that I do. I think as an actor, you pick holes in yourself, and then I panic next time I get on set, so I've decided just not to ever watch myself.
Don't acknowledge it ever.
And this is a big storyline for you. I mean, you've been there 10 years, and you say this, out of all the storylines you had, this is the big one.
Yeah, I mean, David as a character generally gets the kind of light stuff, the comedy stuff, the funny stuff. And when the producer called me upstairs and said, we've got this big storyline, testicular cancer, it was great, yeah. The biggest one I've had in 10 years, so it's been brilliant today.
It's the thing that we love about our soaps, there is that juxtaposition of the character that we know and love, and we've got used to being a certain way, and then suddenly contrasting that with the brutal reality of testicular cancer. And I know that you've done a lot of research, haven't you? But not least with the cast and crew who have been through sort of the similar experience.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone's been affected by cancer in some way in their lives, whether it's themselves, whether it's a brother, a sister, a family member. We've all been affected by it. So the storyliners out there that have storylined it, there's the writers, they've all been affected by it in some way. So all their little bits go into this storyline. In particular, there's one lady who's a PA to one of the directors called Angie, and she went through breast cancer.
Great,
She's
by the way.
Awesome, and she was with me for my first 2 blocks when I started doing the losing my hair and doing the chemotherapy stuff. And she was on hand all the time. She kept coming on set and either telling me you're doing that perfectly, or you're overdoing it, or you need to do it this way or that way.
What did she say about the tissue as well?
Well, that was she said to me the first thing that she lost was her nasal hair, her nose hair.
Yeah.
So her nose constantly ran. So she said, I always had a hanky in my hand. So we'll notice, I think it's in about a couple of weeks' time, David starts to lose his hair. I've constantly got a hanky in my hand. That's my little
acknowledgement to that.
Nod to what she told me.
Let's talk about that then, because of course we're looking at you now, and, and your hair's
still gone.
Your eyebrows as well. I'd imagine that they sat down with you and said, there's a number of ways we can do this. Would you like to put a sort of a bald cap on or something?
Yeah, it was suggested, but it just wouldn't have looked right. So we wanted to do it properly. I have respect for anyone out there that's been through it and going through it. I've had the most amazing tweets since I've shaved my head, and there's been pictures on Twitter and stuff like that. Amazing tweets of people that have been losing their hair through chemo. One lad tweeted me a picture of himself laid, having he had his chemo drip in his hand, with his thumbs up. The response has just been incredible. So we had to do it properly. But
and so eyebrows. So the storyline where we're at the moment, because this week he's just about to start his chemo treatment, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he starts it tonight, the chemo treatment. So you're looking at chemo affects people in different ways. So some people's hair starts falling out the moment that they've had the first chemo. But what we did, we left it over a period of weeks, and we kind of did it in real time. So they started shaving patches in my hair, patches in my facial hair and in my eyebrows. So we kind of tried to do it as realistically as possible.
You know what I love about it as well is that he's going through all of this, but he's still him.
Yeah.
And he's still got his sense of humour with it all.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
There are those moments when he's on his own and you can see at night and he's scared and he's going through all of that, but he's still having a laugh. Yeah,
it was one big thing that so Kate Oates, the producer that pitched the storyline to me, she's now left and gone to Coronation Street, and we've got Ian there now, who's the new producer, and he called me upstairs and he said, I want to keep the humour in it, the comedy in it. He'd had friends and family that had cancer, and he said, they didn't lose the humour, they didn't lose that bit of their personality, and we want to keep that. And he said, I don't want people to think we're doing, trying to do a comedy cancer storyline by any means, but we want to keep that humour in David's personality and his character, and I think it's worked. I think it's really worked. And the feedback that I've had through social media saying that the humour's still there from people that have been through cancer, it's crucial.
How has your son, I mean, your little one's not going to recognise, how's your son reacted to the change in hair? And how's the missus?
Buster, our oldest one, he just couldn't take his hand off my head. He just sat, I read him a bedtime story, he sat with his hand on my head. I did the school run and he wanted me to take my hat off and show his teachers. He was just really proud of me.
Oh,
so that was brilliant.
And the little one, who's 4 months, is sleeping through.
Yes! Do you know what? It's all down to Charlie has been absolutely amazing with getting him into a routine. And so for the past few weeks, he's basically slept through. He's doing
there's going to be a lot of very tired ladies
teenage years. Those teenage years, that's when he's going to suffer.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's great to see you, Matthew.
Hello, YouTube. For more of the same, just click here. And don't forget, you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
And how are you now? Because you've had your own, sort of personal adventure. Yeah, 2 years ago I had breast cancer, which was a huge shock, and it was a challenging year. There's no doubt about it. It was challenging, but I feel now, I'm 2 years on, I was 50 a couple of weeks ago, and I feel so blessed that I'm strong, I'm healthy, I'm fit, my life hasn't been compromised, and I'm feeling great.